Hey guys, how you doing? It's Fraser here. Welcome back to my channel where today we're talking about 7 pre-season mistakes that are so common, and I really beg you not to make this pre-season. Guys, pay attention because I guarantee you that you're making at least a couple of these mistakes, and we need to remove these mistakes. We need to bring in some of my suggestions so that you can have a really successful pre-season. If you're trying to get to another level physically or with rugby, then it's so important. You've got no time to waste, so you need to nail this summer. So let me help you do that. Now, if you stick around to the end of the video, I've got a little bonus for you. So without further ado, let's go. Guys, first thing first, I'm not here to insult your intelligence. So I know that you need a strength and conditioning program. Okay, so that's not even in the list. I'm not even going to talk about that. But how many of you have a nutrition plan, have a nutrition program, have a nutrition strategy? So guys, it is absolutely crucial that you account for the nutrition part of your pre-season training. You need to fuel your performance. You're trying to improve your body composition. You're trying to get stronger. You're trying to get faster. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you need to fuel that correctly. Now, for the majority of you watching, that's probably just an adherence thing. Like, are you eating the right foods when you should be eating the right foods around your training? Realistically, how many meals are you going to have a day? How many meals can you have a day? How many meals suit you per day? You need to eat around your training. So does that look like you're just a 3-meal person? Or are you 4? Or are you 5? Or are you 3 big meals, 3 snacks? Like, it's all good. You just need to work out your calories. You need to work out your protein intake. And I'll just say this, once you do this once, you set yourself up for success. I'm not saying you have to be there and slave over your phone, your kitchen, writing everything down. You just need to take an hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It depends how much detail you go into. Set it out and then follow that plan, okay? If you're not willing to do that, stop watching this video because that is so important. So the second common mistake is not rehabbing injuries, or let's call them niggles. So it's not something that maybe kept you out of playing last season, but it's something that's just been bothering you. It's been there in the background. Now, why is that important? Well, listen, when you start pre-season training, guess what? You're going to be exposed to volume. Hopefully, you've gone from doing very little to nothing, and then depending on your setup, you might have an off-season, pre-season. It can depend, but there's going to be volume in there, okay? Now, when we start adding volume to things, squat, bench, whatever it is you're doing, that little niggle that you had isn't going to respond kindly. So please use the first block of the off-season to just address any niggles that you have. If you need to spend more time with a physio, see a physio. If you need to be doing your rehab exercises, which your physio has told you need to do every day, do it every day, okay? You won't need to do that for the rest of your life, but let's get that niggle under control. Bring yourself back to just feeling and moving really, really well, and then you're going to be in an amazing position to build muscle, to get volume through the body so that your body responds really well, and there isn't something that's holding you back when we're trying to push forward in June and July or whenever your pre-season is, wherever you are. So the third common mistake is very much linked to the second. So let's assume that now you have no niggles, you feel really good, everything is hunky-dory. I'm so happy. Okay, now we go into the actual workouts and the training. You need to be warming up well and having a little bit of self-care, let's call it, all right? That's when you're prepping your body for the session ahead, but also thinking about your history. So for example, let's stay with the shoulder. If that was a niggle that now feels really good and there's no problems, it's not like you're never ever going to do your external rotations, internal rotations, your band work again. Like, that should be part of your self-care routine. So you know you're gonna come in, you're gonna bang out 2 sets of 15 on whatever the exercise is, then you're gonna do the general warm-up before you get into your session. Take time for self-care. It's your body. You need to look after it. Now, the performance coach, the S&C coach, will have a plan, or you're following a plan from an S&C coach, that is going to be stressful. It's going to put stress on your body because stress leads to adaptation. And you're trying to adapt, you're trying to improve, you're trying to get better. But with that stress, you need to make sure that you're taking the steps before so your body's prepared and ready for it. We want the stress, that's how adaptation comes around. But if you're just going in, winging it, you know, a few shoulder circles, then you're on the bench press with 60 and then you're going to 120, like, load step by step, that's another conversation, but absolutely get your self-care in. Remember, it's your body, look after it. So guys, the fourth common mistake is doing zero rugby and just being a gym monkey. Like, that's not healthy, that's not good. And also, you're a rugby player, man. You're not a bodybuilder. So what are you doing just staying in the gym for like 8 weeks and then expecting to go onto a rugby pitch and then having the passing skills that you had or trying to develop. Like, no. Okay, here at Biella we have a month off and then we go into a pre-season block 1 where we're playing conditioning games just once a week, but it's enough for me to get the physical development push that I need, but also keep them really sharp with rugby. Now within that rugby session, it's short, it's sharp, and it's intense, and it's all game based. It's all quite fun. So make sure you got some form of rugby in your training week. Now it can be short and intense just like we do here. It doesn't have to be 2 or 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be 90 minutes at a time. This can be 30 minutes of conditioning games, ball in hand, really fun. Get your mates around you and have a good time with it, because ultimately rugby's fun. Like, have some fun this pre-season. And obviously from a physical performance point of view, it means you're going to transition smoothly when the rugby comes into 2, 3, 4 times a week, depending on your schedule. Okay, so the 5th pre-season mistake is overcomplicating progressions. So if you check out my pre-season for rugby video, a full guide, you will notice the first 3 weeks are really pretty simple in terms of progression. That's because you've been unloaded for a period of time. Hopefully you've unloaded, you're not going to the gym for at least 2 weeks, and then you're building back into things. Your body's going to respond, especially because probably the last part of the season you're really focused on strength and power. So as soon as you jump back to that sort of strength endurance phase, your body's going to respond really quickly. So you don't need to overcomplicate things. Guys, you can check out a 6-week S&C program for free by watching this video here, and you'll get some simple progressions that are super effective. So the 6th common mistake is just copying and pasting last pre-season and not trying something new. Now I'm not talking just about the gym program. You could definitely take a gym program and implement it again with different loadings and a couple of new things, but I'm talking about trying something new globally. Now that might be something new in the gym, following a new plan, or it might be going down to the track and getting a sprint coach, or it might be doing, hiring a nutritionist, or it could be a number of things. It might be focusing more directly on skills. It completely depends on your goals and what you want out of pre-season, but it's a really good time to try something new. Every pre-season here at Biella Rugby, we're trying something new. I'm doing internal research all the time. I don't necessarily communicate the findings with the guys or you guys here at YouTube, but it's all there. It's all my learning to see what's working, what's not working, what do I want to bring in next season, what is making us better, because that's what it's all about. We're trying to get better. So it's a really good time to bring in something new. For example, this pre-season coming up, we're bringing in eccentrics really early. All right, so say someone's bench press max is 140, we'll be using 145 kilograms, that's our 1RM, we'll be using 145 kilograms for 3 reps, but just doing the eccentric. We're gonna have them lower down 145 kilograms in this example. The boys, 2 boys either side, are then gonna lift up the barbell and they will repeat that 3 times. Now that's just one simple little thing I'm sharing with you now. We're going to do the same with squat and things like that. Once pre-season's over, I might share the whole program. Obviously that's not the only thing we're doing, but it's something that I'm bringing in, and I'm going to try a new protocol. We've used eccentrics in the past on triphasic training. We're not going to start with triphasic training obviously, but I'm trying a different tact. It's a little bit of internal research, and with eccentric training, if you've ever done it before, then the next day is like serious DOMs on the quads or whatever, if you're doing squats, whatever muscle group you've worked, serious DOMs that you just don't want when you're in season. So it's a fantastic time for me to bring that in, because the guys will be sore, but so what? Have your protein shake and go and sleep. There's no rugby at the weekend, so the guys will be sore, but that'll be fine. And then at the end, I'm obviously going to be tracking this and seeing how much progress we made compared to other pre-seasons and compared to another group who won't be doing eccentrics. So it's all very interesting for me, but the point for you is try something new. Try something new. Make yourself better. Don't be afraid to have the staples, the 80%, these things that work, but then that 20%, yeah, I'm going to go down. I'm going to invest in a track coach. I'm going to do that. We did that last season. It was fantastic. The guys were flying when we came into block 2, and we play a fast game here at Biella Rugby, so that serves a lot. And guess what? We'll be doing the same thing this pre-season. We'll be going to the track, even though the guys aren't a huge fan of the track. Let's just say that. But we take a short to long approach, and I'll do a separate video on that. But it's something that I saw really helpful in terms of our speed, and speed is everything in rugby. So you bet we're going to be doing that again this pre-season. Anyways, let's move on to the final common mistake. So the 7th common mistake is not having a season debrief with your coach. When you go and speak to your coach, and you must speak to your coach, your rugby coach, all right, you should be there with a pen and paper and writing down his opinion, taking all the stats, like where do you need to improve? Do you need to improve in your jackal? Do you need to improve in getting to the ruck first? Do you need to improve in your carries? Where are you super strong? And go and make that even stronger in pre-season. And what areas, what skills do you need to develop? That is so important to understand before you even set your physical performance goals. Like, understand how that's going to translate into rugby, and then work backwards. You need to understand, what type of rugby player do I want to be next season? The same rugby player? Might be. It might be, and that's great. You might be flying, and that's awesome. Might be you just want to develop just this one little thing. Just, I'm that guy that gets through, I get that half break, but I just can't open up and accelerate. That's fine. Or it might be that, hey, I really need to look at making sure I'm better at the clear out area, so I need to develop a da-da-da. That is so important to do. Make sure, sometimes conversations, we don't remember everything, so just best thing to do, sit down with your rugby coach, pen and paper, be objective, don't take it personally. Your coach is there to help you. He's there to identify what you do well, and then where you can develop things that you need to work on. So you absolutely need to speak with your coach, set goals as a rugby player first, and then work backwards into the physical performance goals and the things that you need to develop physically over summer. Okay guys, end of the video, and I did promise you a bonus, and the bonus is this: BSF. Bigger, Stronger, Faster, BSF 25. That is the discount code you can use when you purchase my Bigger, Stronger, Faster program, which is a program for rugby players in their pre-season. Now, if you follow my work, you know that I have pre-season programs for adaptations that we're trying to get after. So it might be getting stronger and faster, stronger and bigger, stronger and fitter. Those programs are all there. But this past year, I've had people say, I want the whole package. I want to get bigger, stronger, and faster. So I've designed a program that does exactly that. Guys, it's a program that goes through a volume phase, an intensification phase, and a realization phase, so that you're flying for the start of your rugby season. It's a 12-week program. You're going to start with volume, focusing on hypertrophy adaptation. You're going to move into more max strength work, trying to get super strong, all right? And then you're going to move into more speed-based and power work. Obviously, throughout the whole program, there's always going to be a little bit of everything in there, but there's going to be a main focus in the first 4 weeks on that hypertrophy, and then you're going to transition into the different phases. So that is the Bigger, Stronger, Faster program. If you want to check it out, then go ahead and do that at rugbystrengthandconditioning.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you need more information on the preseason, then definitely check out this video, which is all about the rugby preseason, and actually you get 6-week program in there, so you might want to check that out first before you go to rugbystrengthandconditioning.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.